So I used to work for a quote-unquote medical science company that had X's and Y's like all over their bathroom for the chromosomes that males and females had. And we had a lot of trans people and a lot of queer people and a lot of rednecks because we're in Indiana. At some point, me and the trans people like pointed that out, like, hey, that's kind of weird. And then they suddenly pivoted really hard into inclusion. This was like 3 years maybe before all the DEI stuff started coming down and all the weird people were getting annoyed with it. So let me tell you the story of how they addressed DEI. It's so funny. They had us all sit down for a diversity meeting saying like, we're really gonna start hammering in diversity now. And they had us in a room and we had to watch a video from the CEO where he's like sitting there like hunched over his desk. You can see the Word document he's reading from for the first time reflected in his glasses. And he's just going like,
we think that diverse people and cultures are very important.
Then they actually like sat us all down in a room for training on diversity, and I shit you not, the first step of the training, we had to fill out like a psychological profile. We basically had to like answer a bunch of really stupid questions that were very easy to like bullshit and like make yourself sound better than you were. And then based on those questions, they would like give you like a fucking graph and be like, this is what your personality is like. Based on this personality, you might have problems with this and this and this personality. This happened at my job. This was not like an astrologer witch in a cave or something. This was at my job at a warehouse. So that was like the initial part of that thing. And then they had us sit there with all the managers and they're like, hey guys, so we've got all these like profiles for the managers now so that you can kind of get to know them just up front. And they kind of implied they wanted us to do this too, to like share with our coworkers. But yeah, they had all these profiles and it was like name, age, gender identity. They were very hammering home like, put your preferred gender identity, despite literally never actually talking about it past that, and it being like one of the only real sociological issues that came up at the job. And then the next box on the profile was political affiliation. Found out a lot of my managers were Republicans that way, and I was like, oh yeah, duh. And then they had us sit down and do these activities that they labeled as activities to understand diversity, and it was shit to figure out if you were left-brained or right-brained. You know that thing that isn't scientifically backed? Yeah, this was a medical science company where they had us figure out if we were left-brained or right-brained. And one of the ways that they fucking had us do it, the exercise was basically like, look at this corner. Now cover one of your eyes and look at the corner. Whichever eye is still looking at the corner when you cover your eye, that's what side of your brain you're on. And that was their diversity training. And then when we left, one of those dirty Indiana homophobes was trying to like chat me up and get me on his side. He's like, "Puh, man, that shit was really one-sided." And I'm just like, yeah, okay. Damn, that upset you? That upset me too. I'm not gonna lie, bro.